For the assignment, second assignment. So already input in row. Okay.
The second assignment in Word.
Yeah. After we find the human activities generates the waste, pollution, and then something make our environmental way worse. So you need to define methodology in order to prevent this the pollution prevention methodology. The philosophy of pollution prevention always why. Understanding why you prevent the pollution is quite important to know. This the term, this foundation of principle prevention from shifting industry mindset from reacting to waste, eliminate the source. Okay. This is the philosophy of the pollution of prevention. Okay, we have like pillar of the prevention of the prevention, shifting mindset, changing your mind. Okay. B2, pollution prevention is one of the methodology. This systematic reduction or elimination of pollutants from soil before they generate. So it have like prevention. So you can stop use the soils before they are generated. It's the kind of how to prevent the pollution from the source. And then the other pillar of the prevention of philosophy is waste management hierarchy. We already discussed in the previous meeting about the pyramid, hierarchy, prevention, recycling, treatment, disposal. Hierarchy. This disposal. This is the source. Prevention. You need to reduce the disposal. Then you change the like that. So disposal will be 0. Change the mindset, shifting from the how to treat the disposal to make this 0 disposal. So you need to change the paradigm, moving from treating the pollution Then how to treat the disposal or pollution after it formed, and then change the paradigm to prevent the end of pipe. Use the pipe. Which and treat. This is the old paradigm. Okay, the industry. And then waste in the pipe. Waste. And then we click. And change and shift our paradigm to prevention it for form. So the disposal will be zero. So they need treating the waste. Okay, prevention, waste management, change paradigm. It's the philosophy of prevention of pollution. So what's the prevention of pollution? Okay, it's the process practice from the source. Okay, the use of process pollution prevention is used to process. So you need to process practice material or product, point reduce, control the how to reduce or avoid the formation of pollution. So in other words, how to prevention the pollution, okay, from the source. Okay, so you can prevention the waste from the source. So some scholar like David says that pollution prevention one is the integration component of the environmental system. So this resource efficiency, reducing liability, improving harm, and so on and so on. So the source reduction for parts from the material never enters the factory. So waste never leave the factory. So prevention the hazardous material to the environment. So for example, this is the factory, industry factory. Prevention the waste from the factory to the environment, the island. Right. And this is the focus of the source reduction. How to prevention the source. Source to waste. This the hierarchy like that. Hierarchy 1, 2, 3, and 4. This the disposal. This is the old paradigm. So the final disposal is bigger. The source reduction is small. Most people, example. Second, treatment and final disposal, go to the landfill all incineration. Tanam di tanah dan dibakar. This is the all the previous framework of analysis. Exchange to the new prevention of waste from the source. So in this case, source that is the most important. If the waste already generated, then you need to reuse or recycle. And then after that, we treatment the waste. Okay, fine. This is the end of life. Generate the waste. So we need to neutralize the toxin before we dispose to the environment. This is the old mine site. Okay. You can find it's the old mine site, the new mine site. Focus the old mine site. How do we dispose of the waste? We need waste. And then the new mine site. Why is this waste generated? This the pollution shift to the media, and then it's the how to eliminate pollution. So we discussed many times. We already discussed many times in the previous meeting about the old paradigm and the new paradigm. Old mindset, old and new mindset. This is the how to control the waste, and this how to prevent prevention waste. Yes, we have two different of approach. It is an five approach. This is the prevention approach. B approach. Prevention approach. How to make the disposals zero waste. There is some reason why the industry must practice in prevention. Is the new paradigm, prevention pollution. So if like economic aspect, so if we reduce the material, we as a result will have efficiency, and then financial gain. And also help by regulation campaigns from the governments. We need to meet the legal requirement. So about the environmental regulation from the government or local government. So I need to meet all the legal requirement in order to reduce the waste. And also we have like social responsibility. It's like environmental conscious consumer, improving brand loyalty, market positioning, and stakeholder trust. So all that. We generate the carbon dioxide, so we need to like mark in the product how many carbon dioxide generate from the production of this product. Here we have like sorry, Pak, may I go to the toilet? This is the strategy, pollution prevention strategy. So still, this one shows differences. So you have to eliminate pollution before it's created. This is the first step with this. You can do that through the material selection, process design, and operational practice. So we discuss this one. And then process design. Source sequence. The end of line. So here we are covering the material. So we need to use the new material for them by using by mining the new material. So we need the processes like reuse manufacturing before they go to waste stream. And then the final strategy is end of life. We still have the waste, so we need to treat the waste before we dump to the fire. So we need to treat the air, water at the point of discard to meet regulatory standards. So it's before we dump or discard the waste, okay, to treat to meet the regulatory standards. Some fragmentation to the chemical selection from the city. So this is the fragment. How do we define chemical activity like ADT, resistant, equipment, and toxic? In Indonesia disebut D3. Berbahaya, beracun. Okay, and replace this is alternative. Okay, we use the chemical for rather That is chapter 5. The green is the green methodology. Mr. Gupta used the osteoporoid diagram of the chemical system. We need to identify the level of the chemical substance, the hazard level. So you can use the low hazard, so you need to selection chemical selection before production. So you need to find the environmental chemical in the process, in the processing. So it's checking the shift chemical equation in the design process. This is the green screen for benchmark. Or use inclusion, super choice, and okay. From the green screen methodology. Okay, typically has subject profile. We eliminate, eliminate from the constitution. So we need to avoid the high chemical attributes. So we need to find another alternative chemical substance. It's more environmental, more low adjunct. Then use the project. Suitable for use in the short term, but safe person must be transmitted this with caution. And then okay. The keyword is how to find the more safe, yeah. It's the highest of it, this benchmark. Okay, so the ideal is the safe for environmental. So target for all chemical selection. So for example, replacing lead with paint with water-based alternative in this benchmark. So the keyword is how to find the better chemical substance to our process production. Toxic. This can reliably prevention phenomenon. Prevention for more. Closed system. Okay, this is methodology. That's the prevention, pollution prevention methodology. We have the inventory management, full production. The point is how to reduce chemical stock in order to minimize the risks of the exploration. So we need to make a good inventory. Then we have like production process modification, change the material input. In this case, the chemical substance, and optimize equipment, and minimize production. We segregating it from the non-material resource. The cure is preventing waste from costly hazardous. So from the living, some methodology how to reduce the chemical substance our processing. It's quite very some enforcement measurement in detail. Okay. We inventory, we deploy just-in-time chemical procurement. Mean implementing, so you don't need to go to the safe the chemical in the house or so. Use the chemical system just in time. Prevent the stockpile. Mean no inventory. So avoid costs that directly eliminate. So use the chemical substance just in time. If you need 1 kg chemical, you just buy the 1 kg chemical. You don't need like 2 or 3 kilograms, and you put in the room, you put in the other place, and then you make some hazardous. So you need to avoid the cost just in time without inventory. So no storage. You need to store the chemical substance. So we need to control the inventory by using the just-in-time, implementing just-in-time inventory. System modification and following reduction. Use the material. Okay. With raw material, press the controlling machine, temperature, pressure, and waste segregation. Some process modification in order to reduce the waste. Clean. Before we see the production system, this is the strategy to input. So, for example, the recovery or the solvent. What's the solvent? Solvent. What's the solvent? Check your
Pelarutan.
Pelarut.
Pelarut. Cairan pelarut. Solvent. Kita menggunakan use the solvent. Use solvent mean the bekas ya pelarutnya. Kemudian purify, dimurnikan. So all the solvent we have to recover it. And also we have the other strategy is metal recovery from electroplating. Okay, for example, the valuable metal such as nickel, chromium, okay, can recover from electroplating whatsoever. So you can recover the valuable material from the electronic devices. Okay. So you can use the circulation, the water. So you can use reuse the cooling water. Reuse closed loop freshwater consumption in order to reduce freshwater consumption. So you can use the cooling and saving the water in order to reduce the freshwater consumption. This is the whole strategy how to recover material before go to the landfill. Okay. So how to recover material and then before we exit the plant system. So before we exit from the production system, so we need treat the material, okay, on site. Okay, reusing process chemical or solvent, larutan, the same cycle. So we need to cycling. And for this system is material recovery and resource exchange, internal resources. So when there is metal recovery from the plating, in exchange you can through billable gas. Otherwise, you lost the standard. So it needs to recover the valuable material from the electroplating. And this is the last strategy, number 5. And of 5, if we can, after we source prevention, recovery, recycling, reuse, and then number 5 strategy. The final strategy after we have do the other strategy like source prevention, recycling, material, recovery, and then we have the N of 5 pollution control. This is the final. The NO5 control are the final bearing between industrial process and atmosphere. This is the final. Use the cyclone, centrifugal, to create coarse gas and particulate matter before them to the air. And also have electrostatic participation and precipitation. Although like fabric filter, all these devices or the tool already used in the manufacturing industry and manufacturing processing. Before put the filters, scrubber, electrostatic participation in order to make the air more friendly environment. So use the filter, cyclone, electroplastic before the air out exit from the industry. This one the strategy for the air pollution before exit from the industry. So I have to develop all this kind on this tool strategy in industry before exit from the factory. This factory has a filter. The air filter, and exit to the environment. So we have the flow strategy. It's the cycle, electrostatic, stick. How is it okay. It is part of the strategy prevent air pollution before exit to the atmosphere. So air from the factory will be through from the system before exit to the atmosphere. Okay, same discovered carbon atmosphere, the same strategy from the other reference. Okay. Biar dibagi pendapat stack ini ada basis spesial absorpsi, tidak absorpsi, absorption. Is the water for this one evolution. Like we have cyclone brightness, and for the water, ozone, that's screening and sedimentation. Treat industrial wastewater before discharge to the rainfall leaks coastal water to protect aquatic ecosystem and comply with the influence standards. Before the water pollution go to the environmental like the lake, so you need to treat the waters with influence standard. Okay. So we need to do with the one, and then we exit to the environmental. So this sample treatment. The primary treatment is physical removal, screening and sedimentation. Okay. Secondary treatment, biological process, and the tertiary treatment is chemical and physical treatment. Okay. So before we dump the waters to the environmental, we need to treat the wastewater with this strategy: primary, secondary, and tertiary treatment. Physical, biological, and chemical treatment to meet the influence standard. This strategy for NO5, okay, for water pollution. This is the physical screening, chamber, and primary clarification. So focus how to remove of the settled and floatable solid in the waters. So we need to treat physically the water before we send to the environmental. And have the secondary treatment. This is the microorganism. So we need bacteria to consume smoke and organic matter in the waters, and then is associated with the BOD, biochemical oxygen demand in effluents, the amount of the oxygen in the waters. So you need to reduce the biochemical oxygen demand. And then we send the wastewater to the environmental. And the tertiary treatment, nutrient removal. Okay. In order to nutrient mean like make eutrophication. If the nutrient increase in the water, cause that eutrophication. Because the amount of the phosphorus and nutrient increase, make the water fertilize. Jadi subur. Jadi tumbuh bloom alga bloom. Okay, you cover the water bodies. Okay. So you need to remove the nutrient from the waters before we send to the environmental. And also we have the sand filtration and disinfection. So before the wastewater go to the lake, so you need to treat by using this strategy. The removal, strain filtration, disinfection. Okay. Make sure all the water public health. Okay. Treat the meat, public health, and ecological safety. Before the wastewater discharged to the environmental plants such as lake, river, and landfill. So if you have like treatment, primary treatment, secondary treatment, and tertiary treatment for the water pollution control before the final discount. So this is the implementing the pollution prevention. So what's the need the audit? Okay. Go to others. How to audit so it's the integrated pollution prevention strategy. Prevention first. Source reduction is always the highest priority. Source reduction is the main strategy in order to prevention pollution. So we need to minimize the use of the source. This is the highest priority. If you can make it going to the greatest environmental economic by eliminating waste before it's created. This is the first strategy for the prevention of pollution. And also have environmental benefit, reduce the quality of the ecosystem, minimize toxic leaks for humanity and biodiversity, and contribute to the cleaner air, water, and land resources. As they have already discussed, control as a safety net. If we do like the old strategy, 8 or 5 strategy, so to make sure all the waste already treated with the standard, international standard or national standard before discharge to the environment. So if you have meet the regulation complaints. So NO5 technology remains essential as the final clearance before waste release. So make sure regulation clear compliant when prevention or distribution emission. Okay. And then economic is benefit. Prevention, pollution is not a cause. This is the investment. Material saving, reduce waste treatment costs, and improve operational efficiency, generate reasonable return and long-term opportunities. Okay, this is the summary I will discuss today. Okay, the prevention, the first strategy for the prevention provision is source reductions. Is the keywords. Any question? Need to discuss or to anything.
Maybe for exam, what will be out the materials? What should we need to?
The material is pretty easy. Just it's the like multiple choice. Or for example, you don't need to memorize everything. It's the like your mind. All the choice is true, but which one is the best? For example, number one, A, B, C. For example, if you choose the best answer, the score will be 9. The second answer, the best second answer, the score will be like 7, and 6, and 5. And the worst answer is the score is 5. So all the answer is true, but which one the best answer? And we have the score for each your answer. For example, if the best answer, the score will be 9. So if you maybe like 10 questions and then you have the worst question for the 10 question, then your score will be 50.
Ada visi-visi nggak, Pak? Ada visi-visi nggak?
Nggak ada. Masalahnya ya, mind tidak menghafal. Jadi intinya tidak menghafal. Jadi cara berpikir, your mind, how to change your mind from industrial perspective to the environmental perspective. So all the question is true, but this one is sorry.
So all the questions will be multiple choice or
Yeah.
it is
Okay, one for the
SM.
issue. Okay. So will be maybe 10, and then one the issue. In case you find, in case you answer the worst answer and then you put a 15, it will be like you, right? And then yes, it will help you to improve the score. Okay, by using the essay, maybe we have like it can help your score to increase your score maybe to 70. It will be bigger for use. I don't know about this